Minecraft Mod Session 4. This session will be run in Minecraft Single Player Creative Mode. No mods are needed to use Redstone, but the tutorial map does require Bibliocraft to be installed so that all the signs, all the instructions along the way will render properly. One important thing to note about the Redstone tutorial map is that it's a one-time use map. After a student runs through the tutorial map, all the builds that they'll be doing on the map will already be completed, so it will not be useful for another student. If you plan to run the mods class with more than one group of students, then you will need to have multiple Redstone tutorial maps installed on each computer. You might consider having distinct and descriptive names for each Redstone tutorial map. Another thing to note is if the game crashes when right-clicking on the button that sends the minecart off into the build area, then the game has been started in Minecraft EDU, not as Minecraft, and you'll need to restart Minecraft in the proper mode. Students could easily spend the entirety of Session 4 on the Redstone tutorial map, and should be allowed to do so if you are planning on including Session 5 in your delivery. In Session 5, the students will have the entire session to work on a custom Redstone project. If you are not including Session 5 in your delivery, then you might want to consider pulling the students off of the tutorial world a bit early so they can experiment with Redstone on their own. One final thing to note before we get started. Students will be using creative mode, so a single left click will destroy any block or item. They need to be certain that they're using right click when they're trying to activate levers and buttons. If they do accidentally destroy an important item, they can just press the E key to access the creative inventory and find a duplicate replacement item. Using the Redstone tab can be helpful to quickly locate the Redstone items, or the Compass tab to access the search feature. So let's get started. Start the launcher. Select Mods. Enable Bibliocraft and disable Animal Bikes and Biomes of Plenty. Click Start Minecraft. Login mode is Minecraft EDU. Click Launch. We'll maximize the Minecraft window. Select Single Player. There's our Redstone map. So when we spawn, we'll be in a Redstone museum. Shows us a number of different elements, Redstone elements, and there's signs that tell us a little bit about them. And as we follow this glowstone path, there's more elements. One of the things the students can do in the museum is they could grab some wool out of this chest and they could place it in the dropper, the dispenser, excuse me, and it will start popping out pieces of wool. All these elements along the wall are powered by Redstone. And students won't do this, but if we break down a portion of the wall, you can see there's a network of Redstone dust and repeaters that power all the things along the wall. There's levers and buttons and all sorts of different elements. The students ultimately will be heading towards the minecart when they're done looking at the different Redstone elements, and well, some of them they can interact with. They can step on the pressure plate to turn on the light. They can press the button. Anyway, they will climb into the minecart, right click to enter the minecart, and when they press this button, if the world crashes, that's because they did not log in Minecraft mode. They logged in Minecraft EDU. And the students may accidentally send the minecart away. We'll press the shift key to leave the minecart. And notice as I did that, the minecart rolled away. But we are in creative mode, so it's not a problem. We just go into the creative mode inventory, and we'll find a cart. And we can pick up a cart, place it on the track, and climb right in, press the button, and it will send us off to the building area in the Redstone tutorial. I'll just note that we won't be going through every step the students will be doing. I'll just point out a couple things along the way. Press the shift key to leave the minecart. All of the builds will be presented as a series of steps. The steps will be followed by a chest, and the chest will contain all the items the students need to build Redstone machines. They'll be presented with with Redstone rules and redstone principles. This is a pulsing circuit. One thing I'd like to note about this circuit is that in order to start the circuit, we'll just go ahead and do it real quick. We'll need some redstone dust, a redstone torch. You could also use a switch or a button, so we replace the redstone dust that we knocked away. And just to get the pulse started, all we do is place a redstone torch and then break it, and the pulse is started again. This is an automatic hidden door. The tricky thing about this build is the students will have to be careful about the redstone wiring. To make sure that they get the redstone wiring right, they may have to kind of run over into the corners a little bit to see exactly what the redstone wiring is doing underneath the ground. If the students are having a problem with this particular build, the problem is likely to be with the redstone wiring underneath. They maybe didn't follow the instructions quite closely enough. Once again, there'll be a chest with all the items necessary to build. This is an automatic farming machine. Notice it has a pulsing circuit, and to start the pulse going, you'll do it just like we did a few minutes ago. This particular build uses a hopper which collects items, and the hopper will drop those items below it into this, I believe it's a dispenser. The dispenser will shoot an item into the dispenser next to it, which will shoot the item into the dispenser above it, which will shoot the item into the chest. And all of that will be located underground. The students will have to dig a little hole here to put all of that underground next to their automatic farm. And what will happen is the water will take the items. We can demonstrate this machine. See, all the wheat has grown. If we pull the lever and see the water renders all the wheat, and the wheat flows through the water down into the hopper that's under the water there, and it will in turn all wind up in the chest. It's a nifty little machine. In the next area, the students will be introduced to some logic gates. They can experiment with the logic gates, and after the logic gates will be a TNT excavator. They'll be shown the steps of how to build a TNT excavator, but they won't actually be building a TNT excavator. And after the final step in the TNT excavator, they could actually press a button, and we can see that it excavates by blowing things up. In order to shut down the TNT excavator, we just flip the switch, and that will short circuit the TNT excavator. Now we're going to look at the TNT cannon. And we can see there's a whole bunch of TNT lined up. There's actually water underneath this cap. The TNT won't destroy the TNT cannon because of the water. When TNT explodes in water, it will not destroy the blocks around it. So we will press the button, and we will hightail on down here so we can see the TNT cannon. We could set the TNT cannon up to shoot again if we wanted to. Grab some TNT, and we'll just need to set it up the way that it was before. And one more TNT block. There we go. Now we can fire the TNT cannon again. And we can see. That's the way the TNT cannon works. So next, the students will jump into this next minecart, which doesn't happen to be here, so we'll just throw out our own minecart, climb in, and they'll ride the minecart over to the area where they will build their own TNT cannon. As mentioned earlier, if you'll be skipping session 5, The students won't have a chance to build their own custom Redstone machine, so you may wish to break away from this tutorial a little early so they have at least some time to experiment with Redstone on their own. If you will be presenting session 5 to the students, there should be plenty of material here in the Redstone tutorial for the students to remain engaged throughout the entire session. Still, many may not even finish the Redstone tutorial. But if a few do, you may wish to give them the option to customize one of the machines that they built in this tutorial world. And that wraps it up for this video.